So once again showing the variety of the Ryzeal deck and the Ryzeal engine and ways to combine it. And we do have Max immediately starting off by revealing his variant of the deck by activating one of his so powerful Mitsurugi cards, in that case the Mitsurugi Prayers.
That's Rituals.
Oh, it is Rituals? Yeah, you are right. They look quite similar, but that is indeed very much Rituals. You're so right about that. And we do immediately bring out the Futsu here.
I really like the fact that Ritual Summoning has adapted to modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And has seen a new way of playing Ritual monsters.
Absolutely.
From the deck, straight up from the deck, everything goes
Supreme Darkness kind of took that motto, right? We have Crystron now Synchro summoning from the deck. We have now Ritual summoning also from the deck. And therefore they catched up to Branded finally with using the deck as materials.
It was about time.
Yes,
right?
indeed, indeed.
It took the other mechanics quite a while. Now we have Kusanagi and Saji in the graveyard immediately. Does not look like the most Ryzeal heavy hand here.
Not so far. Okay, we do go
again
for number 2, but there is Fuvalos from Ben's side now.
Yeah.
So Ben does have one of those super powerful interruptions, and the good thing is it is resolved, no response from Max whatsoever. And Ben already grabbing that card, he is going to draw, and there we go. You were wondering, hey, that's a Ritual monster, how does that even interact with the Fuvalos? But yes, we just Ritual summoned from the deck, as we just explained, because there's two different ways of doing it. Either you use the materials from the deck, or you summon out a Ritual monster from the deck, and therefore that is how this big, powerful new Murakamo no Mitsurugi found to the field, and he actually has decided to main deck the trap card, the Great Purification, which honestly is kind of a debate between Mitsurugi players. Some people do like it, some people don't. I'm telling you something though, if you do get hit with something like a Fuvalos, it's a very, very good card to search, because you can now just go ahead, pass over with a minimalistic field, but that trap card has some power in its own.
And a great play from Max that holds us because he has Asblossom in his hand.
Ooh, okay, didn't even mind the Fuvalos.
He really knows his deck and knows how to play around Fuvalos.
All right.
Also always the chance that you just forgot to ash the Fuvalos, but I think that because he has no Ryzeal hand, this actually just makes a lot of sense. Like the ceiling of this hand is probably not as high, so he thinks Purification plus Ash is gonna be...
I can tell from his facial expression that he's pretty sure what he's doing.
And I mean, at this point, we may as well just call this a pure Mitsurugi deck, right? Okay, oh, immediate infinite impermanence though right away, but not on the big boss monster, but instead on the Futsu here, which does have the ability, of course, to bring back monsters from the graveyard later in the turn, so Ben wants to rule that out early. Okay, and there's X Ryzeal now, as Ben is not combining with any other Fiendsmith cards or something like that. He is fine by getting locked very early into rank 4s, and therefore this X is not a problem at all.
I think that Ben actually did not activate the X effect to search, because that would mean he has to discard another card. Just went for...
No, he did activate it. There we go. So Aggregator and X'd going in, and we do search out Sword Ryzeal. And Ban is nodding. Ban knows there could have been way more that he had to face here, so this is possibly breakable for him, and I'm sure he has done things like that before. You were mentioning earlier, Ben Kreuzkamp, surely and certainly one of the most insane deck builders in all of Europe, definitely in Germany, and he is ready for another YCS top this weekend.
And he doesn't have to discard because X was channeling 1 and Aggregator was channeling 2.
Yeah.
So it was already negated.
Ooh, now this time around it is Mitsurugi Prayers though. So we now just tribute the Ame no Murakumo. And when that is tributed, it may as well come back later on in the turn. So this is possibly dangerous for Ben, and the trap card was not even activated. The Great Purification. Oh, Ben is thinking about it though. Called by the Grave though! It ain't coming back! Ame no Murakumo is targeted by the Called by the Grave, which is massive, but we do chain the Great Purification to it, tributing the Futsu.
Yep, and that means that Called by the Grave is going to be negated and banished.
Indeed.
Should be banished, no? I mean, not that it's
not
really important,
necessarily
to be
something that we need to worry about too much. Max continuing, searching out another copy of the Ame no Murakumo. Now, Ben, he will have to face those Mitsurugi monsters again. He knows it. So probably not going to be able to keep around his Ryzeal monsters there on the field for too much longer. But we have just resolved the effect of... wait, no, Sword got ashed, right? If I saw correctly. That's interesting. He didn't... Okay, wait, he couldn't ash the Axe because it was chain block with the aggregator, but now he had the chance to ash the Sword Ryzeal instead.
Yep, but that means that there's going to be more interruptions from Max's side, because, I mean, 2 level 4 Ryzeal monsters on the field, they can equal a lot of stuff, but most importantly, a duo drive or an aggregator.
Okay, so Futsu no Mitama comes back, and now the card that is relevant is also coming back. Ame nu Murakumo, and I think I have said it enough. This card on its summon would be able and will be able here to destroy all of Ben's monsters there if Ben does not find an answer to it. Possibly, of course, maybe a Forbidden Droplet or something coming here. Is there an answer? Oh, and Max, like, it's not only that, but it's actually Chain Link free that he's forming there.
I mean, if Ben is really playing the Traptrix variant of the deck, then I doubt that he's going to play too many breakers, because the main deck will be filled with trap holes that are not going to be too good at breaking fields.
Yeah, that's fair.
So the choice of playing the spicy Traptrix variant, at least going for second in game 1, might come back to bite him. But yeah,
and there we
Axe and
go.
Sword already.
Goodbye, Axe and Sword. No field left for Ben Kreuzkamp, staring down all those ritual monsters, but he seems ready to continue still, though. Immediately going for Bonfire. Okay, we ashed the Sword, but that doesn't really matter because Ben had the Bonfire to now grab himself an Ice Ryzeal, and we have not even normal summoned yet, therefore we can just get maximum value here out of that Ice Ryzeal. And there it is.
I mean, maximum value, I'm not too sure, because he has nothing that he can special summon that searches more cards, but you can just get another monster from the deck and go into powerful rank 4s. And if Ben is not thinking about getting interrupted here, there's plenty of stuff he can do with a duo drive, search node, send away duo drive to go into aggregator and have a cross on the field as well.
Who needs duo drive when you can have Traptrix Rafflesia, right? That's the approach that Ben Kreuzkamp took this weekend.
He doesn't have a trap in graveyard, right? Or did he use impermanence? Because then there could be the treacherous trap hole or treacherous trap hole, but you
don't even play treacherous.
There is a trap, and I don't think you would run it.
Yeah. Kind of counterproductive to what we are trying to do with the deck. But now, like, if you had more possible ways to extend, but I think Ben is lacking views at the moment. He needs the duo drive first to get additional ways of extending, possibly by most likely the node Ryzeal that we're going to see here. And therefore we couldn't go into a preemptive Rafflesia here to protect our plays, but instead we do go for a duo drive, and it is resolving, so Ben keeps on going. Ryzeal cross and Ryzeal nodes, so we have a backup, we have a way to protect ourselves, and we have a way to extend with the node Ryzeal here.
No, things are looking good for Ben now. I mean, there is a reason why you play Ryzeal Mitsurugi and not only Mitsurugi usually, because you really want a detonator on the field as well, possibly a Ryzeal cross as well, and now...
However, Max has a lot of follow-up in his hand.
Yep.
Ben should not underestimate it.
Yeah, that's for sure. But one thing I gotta say is the Ryzeal strategy really is not that good at closing out games, right?
Yeah.
That's like, we had decks in the past that they were really good combo decks and had an easy time just putting up enough damage, but the Ryzeal deck specifically is one where we have to say that doesn't work that well. Even Ryzeal cross on the field, as soon as you have a detonator, you can't even summon a second one, so you're really not having many options with great attack points in your extra deck left. So that's one thing. And I think that's also like not the worst thing, because that creates longer games in general. So it's a pretty cool thing to see.
Decks like Malice have very few problems closing out games, where X's Code Talker is just an extender as well sometimes, which is very funny. Note being summoned here, it's going to aim for a detonator, I think. See, did we also see a Zeus there? I mean, at this point you're way locked into rank 4s though, but still...
Nope. I think you would trip in, there is no Zeus in his extra
Probably
deck.
a Typhon then, right?
Yes, that one makes more sense. That one should be there.
Actually, Ben also put away 2 Ryzeal monsters from the graveyard. Yeah, okay, I was wondering maybe he missed out on keeping one in the graveyard, but that's not the case. Veiler discard instead duo drive is also a very interesting thing, but that would mean that
She wouldn't play around Nibiru.
Yeah, and the Amino is at 3,100 attack now, and the detonator is also at 3,100 attack, so you can crash, and that's a pretty convenient way to get rid of that card. So I really like sending away the Veiler instead of the duo drive, which feels sometimes like the duo drive on the field is useless after it used its effect.
Okay, battle phase. We are attacking
Kusanagi going
over the Kusanagi, and now detonator. Yeah, we're clarifying. that they were both on the same attack points, and now there is a potential crash. But Ben, of course, with his detonator, has the ability to just detach one material from it to protect it from destruction. And we have 2 cards to set afterwards.
Imagine you're breaking a field and then you're setting 2 trap cards. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Doesn't look like Max has found any way to summon out a Ryzeal card yet. So that's still a tough one.
Yeah. But sure, Max has his plans. Max came all the way from Denmark, actually, here to this YCS. And we don't have that often, right? Denmark is a rather small Yu-Gi-Oh! Community, but it's great to see them being represented here. He's even rocking like the flag of Denmark on his shirt. But now, first of all, Mitsurugi prayers.
Basti, haven't you had quite some success in Denmark back in the day?
I wouldn't call it quite some success, but I did play Denmark Nationals once, and I did make top cut at least, yeah? That was quite nice.
Good job.
Yeah, very fun community. I like the people.
What deck did you play?
It was the Life Twin Runic deck at that point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Impressive. Not an easy deck to pilot.
Thank you so much. Biggest respect I've ever gotten from you.
Don't get used to it.
Yes, indeed. So, let's see. Ben is really reading that prayers as hard as he can and thinking about maybe responding to it. But no, he gives off the nod.
Ameno.
Oh, and we can chain block the Ameno. But is there maybe a possible infinite impermanence? We can also unresolve just... That's a card you don't necessarily expect. I mean, Max, at this point, he did not know yet that there is going to be Traptrix cards in there, but there we have it. Gravedigger's Trap Hole. And the cool thing about... but there's also infinite impermanence, so we do find a way in the end to negate. So the Gravedigger's Trap Hole was there to negate the graveyard effect that activated of the Futsu, and now we also have the infinite impermanence to negate the on-field effect of Ame.
Honestly, if I'm playing game 1 versus a Ryzeal deck and my opponent activates Gravedigger's Trap Hole, I would look over to the judge thinking, hey, this card maybe is still sided in. Are we sure about that? But yes, this is actually Ben's cooked-up deck list with the Traptrix engine in there. Even main deck monsters.
Yes, and the cool thing about Gravedigger's Trap Hole is it interacts so well with Rafflesia, because Rafflesia, if we go first, we can just summon it out basically as our first rank 4 monster before, of course, the summon number 5. And then you can have, from your deck, being activated the Gravedigger's Trap Hole to play around Nibiru in case it gets activated. But now, first of all, the battle phase of Max it is, who is going to attack the Duo Drive here.
Do you protect here? That's a very interesting decision. Also, I need to read the Duo Drive again, because do you need to detach 2 materials from any card, or does it have to be 1 card? Because otherwise, if you can protect here with the detonator, you could detach.
We just give up the Duo Drive. Okay, fair enough. I think at this point, the detonator certainly is the more important one.
It could actually search with 1 material on each card. It's from monsters you control.
Fair enough.
Or in brackets, a monster.
Look at that, Max looking at all those cards in his hand. He's asking himself, where are my Ryzeal cards? I do play those for a reason. That's at least a level 4 now, but still not a Ryzeal finding its way onto the field.
And we haven't used cross effect yet to negate, so we have certainly not popped anything with the detonator.
So this could be the moment, but no, Ben says this is completely fine. You are playing with your Mitsurugi cards the entire time already, so this is going all right for me, so I'm not stopping you on the Mitsurugi cards. As soon as you may go into your Ryzeal cards, I might change my thinking and go after these, but for now, with your Mitsurugi cards, keep on going. And just another copy of Prayers here for Max.
I like the fact that he gives his interaction for the right moment, instead of panicking and just destroying things with detonator.
I mean, Ben Kreuzkamp has participated in the last World Championships for Master Duel, so he's a seasoned duelist.
He very much is, and he's one of those crazy deck builders. He always takes the challenge of innovating, always tries to find something special, and he again has found something special, and he has made it work once again.
Yep, now we are showing off really what the Mitsurugi engine is made of, because as Max has to adapt to his pure Mitsurugi deck at this point, this is quite a challenge to play versus a Ryzeal engine here, but he's doing the best he can in this situation. Futsu is going to be summoned here. I mean, there's still 5 cards in the hand of Max. There is only 1 lonely detonator going to pass. But I mean, this doesn't mean that he's necessarily in a bad spot. Ben needs to find an answer. He's going to have 2 draws this turn, because Cross is going to be able to set back Sword and the Duo Drive at least. But I mean, the sword is going to go under the deck afterwards, so that is not a possible top deck for him. He also has Node in the graveyard, which is a resource that you always want to recycle with the deck because it's just so incredibly powerful. You can use cards that already have gotten all of their value out. And we Ash the cross. Well, is it the point to negate the Ash on the cross?
He's thinking about it.
Or are we just popping
Is it resolution or are we negating? I think we're negating Ash Blossom, honestly.
Nobody knows.
Oh, but wait, no, he's thinking about the target. So I think we're chaining Detonator to the activation of Ash Blossom here.
Oh, and this is going to be prayers tributing away the Futsu.
Nothing else we can do. We cannot negate any monster effects right now anymore. And we do bring back the...
Ameno, and there's no protection anymore for the Detonator. There is no cross effect for the Detonator. Detonator really likes materials, but maybe this is all part of Ben's plan because he has drawn a Ryzeal, tries to get out every single piece of interaction there. Detonator can now negate the Ameno. Or can he not?
I mean, it's Chain Link 1, so it will still resolve afterwards, but then it's at least negated for the rest of the turn, not able to make Ben discard additional cards from his hand.
The thing is, it looks like the Detonator got into the graveyard in an earlier Chain Link. And also it's Ben's turn, so it's Chain Link 1.
Yeah.
That, you just said that. Yeah.
Thanks for summarizing once again, Leo.
It's
Ryzeal! I thought it maybe this one.
Yeah,
we activate Ameno, but it's not going to resolve as it was negated by the aggregator. So Max cannot stop this Sword Ryzeal coming to the field here. But there is...
going to summon back the Kusanagi here.
Kusanagi coming back. Can we create something out of this here from Max? He is searching extra Ryzeal. Kusanagi adding back the Purification, but that's not interruption for this turn, at least. Yep. And Max is only on 3,600 life points. Maybe now Ben in this turn close it out, because we said the deck is bad at doing 8,000 points of damage in one turn, but 3,600 possibly.
That is manageable.
Maybe that's why you play Traptrix. I mean, Grave Leakage at a trap inflict 2,000 damage.
True, very much.
I mean, I think we don't play more than one Gravediggers, but at this point, the ceiling of Ben just gets higher because he doesn't have to send an aggregator. He can send the Eclipse Twins.
That's right. Going through his deck here. I think the main synergy between the Traptrix part and the Ryzeal part, besides both of them being decent with level 4s, is of course the fact that Ryzeal Plasma Whole, yeah, you heard the last word right, it's a whole card, and therefore it does also work with the Rafflesia. Yeah, you guys are confused by that? Yeah, someone did that to me, actually. Yeah, you can activate Ryzeal Plasma Hole from the deck by Rafflesia. That's the interaction that is so crazy about it.
Whole and not only
yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, it is, Leo. I was also surprised by that when someone did it to me, but that's actually the case.
Or just a normal trap card.
Oh, even that. There you go.
No, whole normal trap card.
Yeah.
Okay, now we figured it out.
Yeah,
Basti was right all along. He didn't lie. Okay.
That's how this actually works together, and that's so cool, isn't it?
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's... Like a lot of other Ryzeal decks have cut the Ryzeal Plasma Hole, but when you play those Traptrix cards, it actually it works so well together.
And now the Eclipse Twins, as it was sent to the graveyard, just summons back the aggregator, the Detonator. Detonator is going to attach something as well immediately, and the Eclipse Twins again. Such a strong Exceeds monster.
Oh, I love this game already so much. It's so grindy. We're seeing both players really struggling, but kind of Ben now advancing to the point where it looks like he may really turn it into his direction, even though he was not able to go first. And we do go for Duggar, so we could double the attack of Detonator here, possibly even.
Yep, there is.
If we want to go for that.
There's one interesting thing. Oh
no, we bring back Node.
The Node. I was just gonna say, because Ryzeal Cross was negated earlier, Node is not in the deck. Otherwise, the X could have searched for the Node, and then it would have been a really, really nice play to double the attack of the Detonator if we had summoned it before. Let's see where Ben goes with this. He's going to skip his next main phase.
Oh wait, there is a Zeus though. I just saw it as well, Leo. I think you were... Yeah, it is fair. I actually disregarded it. There is a Zeus in his extra deck as well. I guess in the pure version you do have way more space in the extra deck, so you may as well include it.
Very cool with Plasma Hole if you're playing versus 10 pipe.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's very true. Oh, look at that. Yeah, we see the hard summon Eclipse Twins. That's so cool. You rarely see that, but in this version of the deck you do. And as Gigantic Sprite used to do it, you are able to use a rank 4 monster instead of a level 4 monster, summoning out the Eclipse Twins, just brand new from Supreme Darkness, going ahead and using the rank 4 monster there for the hard summon of it. You don't really see that in Ryzeal Fiendsmith, but in pure Ryzeal you see this a lot, actually.
Yep, and now we go for Rafflesia.
Finally!
Yep. don't have anything that adjusts the attack of Detonator, though. So that has to be kept in mind. So I think that the Amino is going to stick on the field here.
Okay, attack,
Also,
attack.
Futsu has quite the high defense. Oh, we're going to activate
Look
something.
at this! We
What
are actually
doing?
going to activate Ryzeal Plasma Hole here from the deck, aren't
Oh,
we?
that's
I think
crazy.
we're just going to get rid of the other two monsters and then Detonator might be able to attack directly, isn't it?
But it's for each Ryzeal Exceeds monster, no?
Oh, so it's just for one? Ah, Ben. But there you go. I explained it to you, and actually he's doing it just now with the Rafflesia for the Plasma Hole from the deck. Both of these decks actually just using their cards in their deck as they were in their hand. With Max using Ritual Summons from the deck, and now Ben activating Trap cards straight from the deck as well. But it has to go back over. So game not over yet. Max gets another turn here.
Yep, and when Max wants to activate a card, like, well, actually he can't summon out Typhon with a Plasma Hole effect because there's not a lot of extra X summons going on.
For now, it isn't. That's true.
But still, the situation for Ben is not quite the worst, considering the Rafflesia already. What else is there in the deck for the Traptrix Rafflesia?
Traptrix, Trap Hole Nightmare
Oh,
would be
that
the last
is
remaining option, but
so
that's not
cool.
a bad one for sure, yeah.
That is so cool, the TTN, Traptrix Trapple Nightmare.
Ice Ryzeal
Finally
though!
found by Max, and this is going to be an issue for Ben because now the second, or the primary engine almost, is going to be unlocked for Max here. Going to immediately be answered with a Detonator, and maybe also the second, or the negation of Ryzeal Cross is going to be used in the resolve, because Ben certainly does not want anything to do with Ryzeals on the side of his opponent there. So absolutely understandable. Eclipse Twins, of course, activates again and is going to summon out the Duo Drive. And Duo Drive is now going to decrease 100 attack points for all the opposing monsters. 200 in fact here, because it activates its own effect, of course, upon special summoning. And his own monsters are pushed for 200 attack points. And this is quite relevant when you're looking at the attack points of Amino.
That's true. What a game this is already for game number one here. They're both in a high-pressure situation. Last round of Swiss. One of them can make it, the other one probably going to be out of the tournament. And then you have that kind of a match to play. Already that kind of a game one to play. Now it is back, though. The boss monster that Max keeps on summoning. It is the Amino Murakumo, and it's definitely going to activate its effect here, isn't it?
Can he chain block it?
Oh, we go for Traptrix Rafflesia. And Max is like, how many more trap cards, how many more trap holes do you have? And there is another one of them.
he picks it up!
that it is!
Hit Dark.
Because the Ally of Justice cards are kind of Dark's best friends, right? For example, also Catastor destroys everything except for Dark monsters.
Oh, but
Oh,
this
you see.
time, Max does have the Ryzeal
besties.
portion of his deck. He does go for X Ryzeal, sending Eclipse Twins and resolving the Surge effect as well. And Ben, you can see it in his face cam. He already knows he's about to face more than he had to face in that first game, because there is no way from getting to the Mitsurugi cards to the Ryzeal cards. There is a way from getting to the Ryzeal cards to the Mitsurugi cards, though, because of course we all remember the good old Exceed monster that has been around a while but has found some resurgence now in this strategy, and that of course the card I'm talking about is going to be the King of the Feral Imps.
I mean, if you have Saji and Kusanagi on the field, you can go into Duo Drive, no?
Yeah, true.
But that's not the easiest thing to do.
It's pretty tough to accomplish, yeah. Okay, there is
Double
dual
summon.
drive. Yeah. I mean, I think it does happen. It can be possible, but I think the other way around is way more convenient and easier. But we do see dual drive now also resolving.
And that's always a big thing if Duo Drive resolves. People have started to cut Duo Drive from Ryzeal decklists at some point, saying, hey, this card never resolves, I might as well just not play it and go into Detonator immediately, keep the resources in hand, or try to set up a Abyss Dweller. But if it resolves, Ryzeal Cross is an insane card.
It is, and we have Ice Ryzeal now as well. So Max really able to, in this game, show off his Ryzeal part of the deck as well. The one he was completely lacking in game number one, and he has the Ryzeal Cross now, of course, which he's just searched off of the Duo Drive, and Ben not interacting with him so far a single bit. Detonator gets the Eclipse Twins underneath itself.
Ding, 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 ding. We are Nibiru-proof at this point. So no big rocks can come flying from this guy. Before, there were no Ryzeals in the graveyard to attach for the Duo Drive. So even when Cross was activated, there was still an option to get Nibiru, but this is not the case anymore. We go for another rank 4, and I think that maybe we go for the King of the Feral Imps now.
Yeah, I think so. That seems like
No,
a good idea.
Dugaris.
Oh, Dugaris first. Okay, so maybe we already have the Mitsurugi cards. Dugaris activates its effect. And I mean, at this point, I think especially post-side-tagging, Dugaris becomes such a good card because it lets you draw into cards like Solemn Judgment, Solemn Strike, and so on and so forth. So I think I'm a really big fan of Dugaris in Game 2 and Game 3 when you do have that chance. So we draw 2 and we will be discarding 1. And I think I do see multiple Mitsurugi cards in the hand of Max already
I think I see Kusanagi and Amino.
Those are not the greatest ones, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, he normal summoned as well.
Yeah.
How is he going to get into his place? How is he going to search for the ritual?
I think he's just drawing Ritual with the cross draw here. That's the easy way to do it.
Exactly.
Right? That's the plan all along. Is he going to get the Ritual? Are we doing... Oh, this is so unfortunate. In Game 1, he only gets to show the Mitsurugi stuff of his deck and now only the Ryzeal part. And that sometimes happens when you do combine 2 things in one deck.
Yeah.
You sometimes just draw the one side of the deck and then you're really, really lacking some seeding here because this is just basically Detonator Pass. And
Detonator Cross Pass.
I mean, yeah.
Ben also has hard draw the whole plasma card.
Yes.
So it was a very good ritual that he kept inside for Game 2.
I mean, you can also use it like offensively with a Rafflesia, because Rafflesia can send at any point if the requirement is there, and Plasma basically doesn't have a requirement except for you having Exceeds monsters, so you can use it at any time. Now we start off with an Ice Ryzeal, and we have seen before Ben shutting down this engine of the deck by going Detonator Pop. Because Metal Tronus is being chained, and that is huge!
But there is Forbidden Droplet, making sure that the Detonator goes to the graveyard before the Metatronus could resolve. And we have talked about Metatronus basically all weekend long, and we have seen many cases where they played against decks where Metatronus could not be resolved. But now this is finally the situation why Metatronus is played so much, because in the Ryzeal Mirror, it's an insane card to have.
Yeah, but now Cross can't resolve.
That's true.
Because there is no material anymore to be detached from. Of course, Eclipse Winds is going to get back the Detonator.
No, so that's one.
I mean, Detonator can now bring another material underneath it, so technically it's still ways to resolve with the Ryzeal Cross.
And we still haven't...
True, yeah.
So Metaltron's resolve.
Oh, but now we do go for the extra Ryzeal. I don't think you can resolve Metatronus at this point, because you need to interact with your opponent's monster, and when they send away the target, it doesn't resolve anymore. So the Forbidden Droplet definitely did its job there.
I completely forgot that the Droplet was hit on Ice Ryzeal, so the effect doesn't go through.
Yeah, that's true, of course. The Droplet did a decent job there for sure.
Absolutely, dodging Metal Tronus, negating the Ice Ryzeal. Pretty big. Pretty big. But it wouldn't be a Ryzeal deck if it was stopped that easily, if you have more cards in your hand that you can use. And we're going to go for Sword.
Sword Ryzeal is added to the hand, and there is an Exceed monster in the graveyard already, therefore that would also be a free special summon, which we're going to use right away.
Yep, and it is going to be popped immediately as well. Can search for the Ice Ryzeal now, can of course also search for X. However, I think that X has been summoned up from the hand as well, so it doesn't make too much sense to get that one. You would rather want a Node here, but Node unfortunately can't be searched by Sword.
Ice hasn't been summoned from the hand though.
Yep, but then again, it's only one monster. So it doesn't really do too much. What you can do is summon out Ice, discard the Plasma Hole, and then go into a Typhon. That's
you're locked. You cannot go to Typhon.
a very good point.
Oh, true.
And we just
I think we just passed it over.
No
Max almost drew a card there, but of course Dugaris resolved last turn, meaning no card drawn in the draw phase this time around for Max, as he got that extra card last turn already. We now have, that is a Fuvalos right away on the effect of Ryzeal Cross. That's interesting that he waited for it until the main phase, right?
Yeah. Also, of course, very much fair play from Ben of reminding his opponent that he can't draw in the draw phase.
I think he wanted to hold it for an activation that will special summon from the deck, but he's scared of Ash Blossom be drawn from the cross.
That's a very good point. But, I mean, there is already a lot of attack on the field.
I mean, at this point you get the challenge and you just summon 2 monsters and OTK.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going for Ice Ryzeal. Ben knows this game is not going to be easy.
Such a good play here. Note is such an incredibly good play because it summons a big body from the graveyard. The dual drive is always sent away.
Giving up Detonator though, okay. Max, you know that you have a battle phase this turn around, right? Because the Dugaris may have not given you a draw in the draw phase, but battle phase is completely cool.
Yeah, I haven't seen any runic cards activated so far.
Same.
So now we have Ice Ryzeal in defense position. And triple tactics talents is going to hit the Fuvalos. And I think if you're trying to play around Ryzeal cross drawing into Ash Blossom, you should definitely use it in the standby phase.
Yeah,
or draw phase.
I agree, for sure. But maybe Ben was hoping that there is no engine to follow things up and just like that the opponent possibly just goes into the battle phase. But he may have just forgotten a little bit about the Ryzeal cross being able to give him another draw there. So we do go for another Exceed summon. Looks like Detonator is going to be
Is it going to be another draw? It's another draw.
Indeed.
Picks up another card for Ben. And now if he gets to see another turn, the Fuvalos draws are going to be actually very relevant.
I mean, that's the point that he sent a Detonator before, because he couldn't summon the second one.
Yeah. True, now we have 3 materials with the Eclipse Twins.
And we now have picked up the Mitsurugi part of our deck. We had to search for it for a while, but there is now Ame Numero Kumo, and that's a big monster to have. 3,200 attack points next to the Detonator. I think we do now have over 8,000 attack points on the field.
Yep, now we get to read the ritual once again. Ame no Murakumo no Mitsurugi is looking threatening. We are almost at 8,000, right? This should be 7,900?
No, I think we're already over 8,000. How big is Ice Ryzeal? Because we can turn around the... Yeah, but we can turn around the Dugaris, and Dugaris can freely attack as well.
That's a very good point. But it's
but there is Nibiru, but we can use the Cross, of course. Cross was not used yet, so we can just negate the Nibiru.
Yeah, and
that's what we do.
Ben hoping that Max forgets about the Ryzeal Cross, but of course he does not.
As well, with a sportsmanship fist pump to start it all off, and Ben with the sportsman normal summon of Ice Ryzeal here.
This is the best normal summon by far that we have right now. Actually, I didn't compare it to any other normal summon so far, so maybe it's also not. But this is a start that you like to see if you're playing a pure-ish Ryzeal approach. Of course, X is also a phenomenal starter, now with Eclipse Twins as well. So you get to play around multiple cards there.
Yeah, actually, it's arguable in the pure version of the deck, right? It's definitely the best starter in the Fiendsmith Ryzeal version, and in the X is the best one in Mitsurugi for sure.
Yeah.
But I think in pure, X is also the best starter because it does save you a normal summon. You can, like, if they want to activate something on your X. Oh, and we immediately go for the Traptrix Rafflesia, making ourselves safe from Nibiru that might possibly be in the hand of Max here.
Yep, and now we see a Node and a Sword here, so actually Ben is going to play quite a bunch. I think he special summoned out the X from the deck, right? So he can still use this one to summon out from hand, so he doesn't need to use Node immediately. He can summon, send the Eclipse Twins, go into Duo Drive, search some follow-up and cross, or maybe even Plasma Hole, but I don't think you need to search that one, to be honest, if you have the Rafflesia on the field, and then you can send the Duo Drive back to the graveyard with Node, summon something back, and go into Detonator.
I mean, honestly, why not? You can get the Cross, and you can also get the Plasma Hole, and then you do have another trap card in the deck for Rafflesia, which you can activate. I don't even dislike it, and there you go. It's the first card actually that Ben is grabbing. We do get ourselves one copy of Plasma Hole and the Ryzeal Cross, and therefore we do still have the option to go into our Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare and our Gravedigger's Trap Hole in the deck.
If you have follow-up in hand already, if you have a Ryzeal in hand, I 100% agree with this play. If you don't, it's a little risky.
I guess so, but honestly, one side factor that Mike also was mentioning in Game 1, Gravedigger's Trap Hole, on whatever Max is going to activate in the hand, does have that additional way of doing 2,000 points of damage, and therefore that now, with less than 8 minutes on the clock, could be something very, very valid in this Game 3. Oh, it is minimalistic, but it's still very, very good. Joined by 2 set cards. I think it is pretty decent, honestly.
I think it's a big field, actually, if we compare it to other decks right now. 3 pops, 2 trap cards activated from the deck. Cross as a monster negate in resolve, so basically unstoppable. And 2 set cards as well. This is looking good for Ben right now, but there is an X as a start, sending the Myriologic Aggregator. Also an aggressive start, trying to negate the Ryzeal Cross here.
That is true. Just to make sure, Traptrix Rafflesia is once per turn, so it would only be 1 trap card from the deck, but I think that still would probably be enough. But now, any response? I think we targeted the Cross with the Aggregator here, and we're going to use... Is that Detonator or is that Cross? Because we may as well use the Cross here as our negate.
He targeted for cost, so it's probably Detonator.
Yeah, it has to be Detonator, right? Because it is the Aggregator chaining too, I would assume. Oh yeah, it is the Detonator, of course.
Otherwise, Cross will be negated.
Yeah. But you can't really negate the X with cross, of course, because it's chain blocked by the... I mean, the chain blocking doesn't matter, but Mariologic Aggregator will resolve first on the cross, and then you can't negate the X anymore. And Talents is being activated after Detonator was chained. Do you have a trap card in your deck to negate that ban, Kreuzkamp?
I don't think so. And taking, like, both of these monsters are valuable cards to take here.
Yeah.
We go for Detonator.
Pops
Targeting
itself.
So we do get Detonator back in the end, but we do give that Rafflesia back over to our opponent. And now Max, maybe from his side deck, did he bring in some whole cards from his side deck to use for Rafflesia? Imagine that.
Maybe
that would be the outplay of the outplay.
Yep, and there we're going to see the dual drive attached to the Ryzeal Detonator. Of course, grabbing back the Eclipse Twins, trying to loop those cards for forever. And this is looking decent for Max already.
Yeah, I have to say that too. I like the field, but that triple tactic talents alone has done such massive damage to the field here already.
But I mean, you also, you really need to keep that Detonator on the field because you searched for the Plasma Hole earlier.
That's
and
true.
this would be completely useless if your opponent took the Detonator. Also, your opponent is playing a Ryzeal strategy as well. So the Detonator on the field would enable some other cards. I mean, you already have Extant Graveyard. So
For a moment, I was questioning myself whether Ryzeal Plasma Hole would even be for all the Ryzeal Exec monsters on the field, but no, it's only for your side of the field. Because in a Ryzeal Mirror, that would be kind of crazy if it would be for all of them on the field.
Oh,
Solemn Strike,
wow.
though!
Okay, less than 5 minutes. Ben Kreuzkamp using the Solemn Strike, saying this game is not going to end in a draw. We will find a winner, and Ben is behind in life points now at this particular moment. So we have to make things happen quick here. Max takes the lead, but Max does not necessarily look like he has the lead, and it's a give up.